processed as a overpayment. With that being said, through further investigation, we noted that there were two in-place manual controls that essentially were not executed and failed. Because of that, we went through disciplinary action against the employees that were involved in that process. And since then, within 1 or 2 business days after the incident occurred, we were able to recoup all but $655 of the $1.6 million, with the rest being set up to be deducted from the employee's paycheck.
Can you repeat the amount again?
600, I think it's about 600, I think it's $655 that was not collected.
Okay.
At that time.
Thank you.
In terms of like risk mitigation and safeguards going forward, we're going to be looking at working with our system implementer to reduce the number of field characters that go into a pay rate adjustment. That'll be one thing that we look at. The next thing we're going to be looking at is all transactions that are of a manual process to see if we can improve upon the workflow, or there's other safeguards we can add to have alerts or different approvals. Also looking at the payroll elements, putting in some type of thresholds that would trigger, whether it's the CFO, budget, or whomever, or PHR director, to do further investigation into numbers that look out of whack. And also our payroll cutoff. We're going to be enforcing our payroll cutoff that's already in process to make sure that on off payroll weeks, we have adequate time with PHR to review any changes that come about or out of the normal, as well as during the payroll week, make sure all time and attendance is in on time so those reviews can take place. Any questions on that?
Okay, one moment. At this time, I'd like to ask commissioners, do you have any questions? Commissioner Baidoon, then Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So obviously this was a large amount and it was discovered immediately. How do we ensure that there were no smaller amounts that fell through the cracks and they were paid out and we don't even know about it? What's the process in place? Do we go back and audit? And how far can we go back?
Through the chair, yes. So currently we have already put in process hiring a vendor long prior to this process to come in and do a full payroll review. This is something you would do in this process of a transformation of this large anyway. So we definitely think we can benefit from that. But just as a cursor, we quickly went back and looked at all of the payrolls real quickly just to make sure there was no other large amount that was out there. In terms of smaller errors and things of that nature, we hope to flush those out if they're out there during the payroll review. Yeah.
Because just to continue, and this was my final point, it could easily happen someone gets paid extra by $200, $300, or $400 or $500 and nobody would notice it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Anderson and then Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Wallace, I just wondered, you mentioned the money was recovered. How was money recovered? My understanding was an employee voluntarily brought it to your attention.
Yeah.
So no one discovered it, but a person came in and said, there's been a slight mistake.
Right. Yeah. Through the chair. Yeah. Fortunately, yes. At that time, the employee, and we have gratitude to that employee, let us know immediately, and that's when we started our research process. But ultimately, the employee brought in, I think, several cashier checks or what have you that we deposited to get the money right back in Wayne County.
I guess it's very surprising to me that there's not some types of checks and balances that are were in place at that time that would prevent something like that from happening, where someone over a certain dollar amount would have to sign off on it, at least maybe one, maybe two or so. But I just wonder what happened, reason that wasn't in place.
Yeah, through the chair, in any process, there are preventative controls, manual preventative controls that are in place that are crucial, that they get executed to prevent these types of errors. However, as we can talk about in a few minutes, during our budget actual process, It may be a little later down the road, those would have been caught at some point during the budget review access, but budget to actual review process.
And so did you find there were multiple employees that dropped the ball? Is that what happened?
Unfortunately, yes.
And my understanding is there's been disciplinary action taken.
There's been 4 employees affected by this transaction.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Marecki, and then Commissioner Baydun, back to Baydun.
Just
Yeah.
to that point, I'm sorry, Commissioners.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, so this was a direct deposit into the employee's account of the 1.6 million?
Yes.
So, that's even more troubling that there's no mechanism in place, that throws a red flag, large amount of money being transferred to an employee. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I do believe a lot of the question that we're raising, the executive raised those same questions, and I think they're putting those safeguards in place to make sure that that this does not occur again. That that'll probably be several alerts to individuals if this happens. So I'm saying, so this is. I'm glad we were able to capture this, and I do know that this issue is still under review, and they're trying to definitely make sure that this doesn't happen again. Yeah. So we'll now go to Commissioner Marecki and then Commissioner Clemente.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I thought there were only 2 employees that were cited for this, but there were 4.
There were
But
4.
was this a matter of putting in a wrong number? Or, I mean, you said something about simplifying the process maybe later on, but I mean, was it like putting in where a couple numbers got transposed, or was it like gross?
No,
I guess negligence or
no, through the chair. I mean, it was literally a approved document that was approved for input where they literally keep the employee ID number as opposed to the pay rate.
Okay, okay.
So they were probably looking at the document itself and did a
They
transposition.
put in the wrong thing.
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Clemente, and then Commissioner McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the safeguards that are being put in place, was it a training error on, or like adding in that many? I mean, we've been training on all of this, right? And adding that many numbers to something, I just want to make sure that and it didn't get caught anywhere, not even the treasurer's office, not that they're responsible for us, but we definitely, and I think to Commissioner Baydun's point, that, yes, okay, that's a large amount of money, but could we be missing smaller amounts that are costing? So we really need to work on this, making sure that there's been a lot of different little hiccups with, and there's going to be, we're a large county, but as we're going along, anywhere between here or in government ops, when we can know about these things, it's very important. So thank you.
Thank you.
A question, I need you, so these issues do happen as far as overpayments, underpayments. I need you all to explain the procedures right now, because you all are addressing those. So it's not like you have not discovered at any point those smaller overpayments and underpayments. So you have definitely each pay period deal with these issues.
Through the chair, under all of our collective bargaining agreements, there are provisions to allow payback when those administrative errors are discovered. So as we continuously audit and find errors in payroll, then we do the reclaim the money through the CBAs.
Absolutely. I think there was an overpayment of a travel situation. You all clawed your stuff back from us. Remember? Yep. So that's the thing there. So I'm saying, so it does occur in the pay periods, and so you are doing payroll audit. It's even in those processes. I just needed you all to state that for the record.
Yes, it is in the process, and I focused on the collective bargaining agreements because about 90% of our people are organized, but it's also for the appointees and unclassified.
Thank you. Okay, Commissioner McCormick?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So you just stated that these errors happen. But so is it, you said 4 employees were impacted. Were they impacted by firing because of these mistakes? And in the past, were employees fired because of errors, or what's the usual procedure?
It depends on the nature of the error and what occurred. So it's not an automatic that employees are separated. If it's a training issue, then it's training. If it's a oversight or I didn't care or what have you, then it's addressed that way. But it's never an automatic. We have to go in and look at it and, understand what happened, the employee's explanation of what occurred, and then the internal controls. We talk consistently about people, processes, and technology, and where do we find the error?
Okay, and so in this scenario, you indicated that 4 employees were impacted. How were they impacted? And was it each of their fault, or what was the
At that
finding?
point, the
Yeah.
line of questioning, I want to hold that this is a personnel issue.
No, I understand it's a personnel issue, but I'm just trying to
The
understand.
fault, we can't
how-
determine that right at the table.
Okay, and
Discuss that.
so when you found this error, it was administrative, that's what you just indicated,
Yeah.
correct? So it wasn't fraud or someone's trying to do something wrong. So how were they impacted? Were they just put on leave? Were they,
I think that's the kind of,
Questions,
information.
because they have due process and there's still some union representation, so this process the discipline process
Okay.
hasn't gone
so
completed
it
itself.
hasn't been rectified as to what
No, it
we're
hasn't gone
going
to
to do
completion.
with these individuals? You're just saying that there's 4 individuals involved.
Correct.
Okay, and we don't know yet as to what's going to happen with
Well, they
them.
terminated, but they got due process to be able to,
Okay, that's what I was asking, if they were terminated or what's happening. So they were terminated. Is that correct?
whatever the terminology is, can y'all tell what the legal terminology is without pay or whatever it's called?
So we have 2 that have been separated in.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sue Moore, Deputy Corporation Counsel. As through the chair and as Chair Kinlack mentioned, the employees do have due process rights and there's still process and
Okay.
procedure that we're going through. If you want to just give a general overview of the current status of the employees.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's all. Mhm.
And then suspension pending investigation, and that's
Thank you.
without pay.
Okay, I strike that as far as termination.
Okay, thank you very much. That's
Thank you.
all I was trying to clarify, what's going on with them. I am glad that there is due process.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to find out, because if it was, as you state, a clerical error and the monies have been returned, and I think Kenlock just indicated that these errors, I know this is a major error, has happened before, not with this amount, right? I just want to make sure that we're going about the process to make sure that due diligence and that they do have their say, or at least. Now, the safeguards that you talked about initially is putting in where you can't put too many digits or that many digits in an adjustment. Is that what you just said?
Through the
Is-
chair, yes.
Okay, so that means that you will no longer be able to put $1 million figure in that spot to create that adjustment.
That's correct.
Okay, so that's gonna take care of that major overage. Now, we also had some issues related to the taxes earlier in the year, or was that maybe several months ago. Was the same employees, is this the same processes, or how does that relate to what's going on now?
Through the chair, I wouldn't say it's the same process. I would just say that it's just the growing pains of implementing this new system. And so we're just, working through some of the things we need to work through.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with this new system, I know we've been really, this has been a process, a long process. And I'm just wondering how much more time or effort that is going to, this process just seems long. And I'm just wondering, is there some date that we have in mind that this process of learning the system or tweaking the system and the training of employees to better understand the system is, how are you rolling that out? Because I think there's a little bit of a concern about the
Okay, so I'm going
training
to say
of the system.
on that part,
Mhm.
as you know, they give us ongoing and continuous reports and
Right.
updates as relates to the implementation, as well as they share timelines associated inside of those documents of which stage they're at.
Right.
And I would like to refer that, but also we have a report that should be forthcoming that will speak to that. I just wanted us to just get a general overview of this
Right.
item here, this item here, and that that issue, we should be getting an updated report that will include the timelines and where they are. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I was just wondering again, is this tied to the same issues that kind of caused this issue? No?
Through the chair, not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank
I'll
you.
look for the report, because, yeah, we
Thank you.
wanna make sure this is cleared up. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any additional questions? Any additional questions? Thank you. And in regards to this, we have another item. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item number 12, discussion by the administration regarding a delay in entering payroll actuals into JD Edwards and the impact of this delay on grant reporting to various agencies.
Okay.
Yes, through the chair, I'm happy to report that all the payroll's been posted as of the last payroll period. So kudos to the team and the project team for getting that done. At the end of the day, I mean, any of these types of transformations, there's a lot of work to be done, and really this issue stemmed from really just sort of linking up the chart of accounts from HCM and JD Edwards, because obviously we've moved to cloud. Now we're in HCM. So we have to put our payroll back into the financial system. So there's a process to that. We were really focused on getting the payroll posted timely so we could conduct our, our fiscal year-end audit as of 24. And then when we moved into the new year, we ramped up all efforts to, integrate and automate this process. So as of the most recent payroll, all payrolls posted.
Okay. Any questions as it relates to this item? Any questions? Thank you for your report and joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, next item.
We are moving up to item number 1, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2025-35035, reallocating expenditures in the general fund.
Are there any questions? Any questions as it relates to item number 1? Next item, Madam Clerk.
2, requesting commission approval of budget adjustment 2025-35045, reallocating expenditures in the juvenile justice abuse neglect fund.
Are there any questions? Any questions? Who here to speak to this item?
Good afternoon, Sharon Rose, Finance Director for Juvenile and Youth Services.
Good afternoon to the chair and this honorable body. Nathaniel McQueen, Chief Program Officer for Juvenile Youth Services.
Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just I wondered, I mean, there's people that few people that probably watched this and wanted to ask for an explanation of what this is again. And also what, what type of protections or controls are going to be put over this. Because my understanding, it's going to have a new music studio.
Yes, Commissioner. Again, Nathaniel McQueen, Chief Program Officer for Juvenile Youth Services. As you're aware, some of our youth do find themselves in trouble and they end up at our juvenile detention facility. And one of the things that we've noticed is that having a number of different items in place for them to be able to creatively, can't say that word right now, creatively, there you go. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you, Commissioner, to express themselves. But not only express themselves, we all know that not all of our youth will go to college. Some of them have abilities by which they can express themselves and be able to make a good means and a good living. We do know that, and we have research that the music industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And many of our youth do and have expressed the ability as well as the desire to be able to get into the music industry, not just from the artist perspective, but producing, from all of those different aspects. So we put together this music studio at the juvenile detention facility to be able to expose them to the other arenas within the music industries, that many of them have that creative ability, not from writing to production to all of that. We do have the mechanisms in place whereby not only will the youth be trained in this particular area, but also the staff members are trained in this area. So we pick the staff members who have a desire to work with the youth in that particular area so that we make sure that it is well-rounded.
I guess in this day and age, there's so many things that are out there that are in the music business that I just want to make sure that I would hate to have something come out, down the road after this is in place, that there's all types of explicit lyrics and things that we see in a lot of the music.
Totally understood, Commissioner. And we do have those mechanisms in place, just as the kids' language is restrictive while they're there. There's no differences when it comes to the music portion of this. The same restrictions apply. Behavior, it is a earned reward to be able to go into this particular arena and to be able to utilize this equipment and learn how to utilize this equipment. If they don't earn those rewards, they're not able to do it, and any violations or deviations from what the standards are removes them from the program.
And how closely is it going to be supervised?
It'll be supervised extremely and intensively close. That's why we've taken the opportunity to select those staff members who have a desire to work in that same arena, because we found that when the staff members have a vested interest in that arena, then they work even harder to make sure the kids adhere to all of the guidelines.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I want to commend whoever came up with the idea of bringing this or exposing these young people to this platform. This is absolutely a tool. Music has always been an outlet for young people to be able to express themselves. And also it opens up a doorway to see and to dive in, to take a look at some of the issues and challenges that they may not be able to communicate in any other way, but they have found an artistic way to be able to express themselves, and people to be able to know, get a glimpse of what's going on. So I think this is an excellent tool. I come from the music industry, and and I think that as you see, a lot of young people have found music to be an extreme tool to help them express themselves and address a lot of things that are subconsciously that they're dealing with. So I commend you all. One thing I'd like to say, you should absolutely invite some professional producers and professional music executives to come in and talk to the young people. I'm sure there's a lot of both producers and executives who would love to come in and spend time with the young people as well.
Absolutely, Commissioner. Thank you for those comments there. I echo those sentiments. I DJ, and so I echo those sentiments about the love for music. Yes, it is a very wonderful program. It is not just a program that we picked just arbitrarily. It's a program that's also already being utilized around the country, and it does have that connectivity with those professional producers and things of that nature. I will definitely echo those sentiments of thanks to our division director, Mr. Mac McGee, and also our fearless leader of our department, Ms. Melissa Fernandez.
Absolutely, love them both. So Commissioner Clemente.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think you did touch on things. I was wondering where the idea came from, and I think that music and art are very important because a lot of times, like you said, some of our young people are not studious, even though they do need to do that, but there is a way to express themselves. So not only the music, maybe you can think about some art things also.
Absolutely.
Thank
We
you.
are definitely exploring those avenues there. And as many of you are aware, in some of our schools, unfortunately, things like those arts
First
have
thing to
been
go.
cut out because of, cost cutting measures. And so for us to be able to expose them to this has been really beneficial as we see it.
Thank you. Yes, so any additional questions? Any additional questions? Thank you. And just for the record, we'll
Approval of budget adjustment 2025-35070, reallocating expenditures in a juvenile justice abuse neglect fund.
any questions associated with this item? Any questions? Next item?
Oh, my apologies, Chair.
Yeah.
I didn't read in item number 3.
Okay, thank you.
Kind of
Okay.
skipped. So item number 3, requesting commissioner approval of budget adjustment 2025-35099, reallocating expenditures in the juvenile justice abuse neglect fund.
Okay. Any questions? Any questions on this item? Next item, Madam Clerk.
Okay, now we're going to move to item number 5, requesting commissioner approval of budget adjustment 2025-35100, reallocating expenditures in the juvenile justice abuse neglect fund.
Any questions? Any questions? Any questions on this item? Next item?
Item number 6, requesting commissioner approval of budget adjustment 128, certifying revenue in the general fund.
Okay, this one here, who's here to speak to this item? This seems like a long-awaited item. Item number 6. Anyone here to speak to this item? Okay, okay, so we'll move to the next item, and this will be a pass for the day if we do not hear from any, okay. Are you able to speak to this?
I just have from a Greg McIntyre, Deputy Budget Director, Management and Budget, not from an operational standpoint.
That's the question. I
Okay.
need some operation questions as it relates to this, our initial action. We've talked about this, and so I just want to get some clarity on this. Okay, so next item, Madam Clerk.
Item number 7, requesting commissioner approval of budget adjustment 2025-35086, certifying revenue in the law enforcement fund.
Okay, who can speak to this? Who's here to speak to this?
Good afternoon, Commissioner Benita Terry.
Can you
Sheriff's
speak
Office.
louder or someone turn her up, please?
Hold on. Director Terry with Sheriff's Office, Director of Administration, and I have Director Banks Hall, our Director of Grants. So this is a JAG grant. We're certifying the funds of 1.2 million in the law enforcement fund. And this will go to, we have a few communities listed that will receive funding with the JAG grant, and as well as us receiving an 18% administration fee. That's $230,000.
Okay, any questions on this item from any of the commissioners? Any questions? Thank you.
Thank
Next
you.
item, Madam Clerk.
Item number 8, requesting commissioner approval of budget adjustment 2025-35107, reallocating expenditures in the juvenile justice abuse neglect fund.
Any questions? Any questions on this item? Next item, Madam Clerk.
Number 9, requesting commissioner approval of budget adjustment 2025-35101, reallocating expenditures in the juvenile justice abuse neglect fund.
Any questions? Who's here to speak to this item? Item number 9.
Good afternoon to the chair and this honorable body, Nathaniel McQueen, Chief Program Officer for Juvenile Youth Services.
Sharon Rose, Finance Director for Juvenile Youth Services.
Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this is dues to this organization. What are we getting for $4,000 worth of dues
Yes, Commissioner. So I will do some more research on this and get back to this body with this. What I can tell you is that this was initially a membership that was held by the Health and Human Services Department for the County of Wayne. And with Juvenile Youth Services, we got pulled in as a co-member with them. And the amount of the dues is $8,000. And so therefore the amount of the dues would be split 50-50 by the Health and Human Services Department along with Juvenile Youth Services. So that's where our $4,000 portion of it comes in. But to get in depth with exactly what all services we will be receiving for this membership, I would have to get that information and get back to this body.
Can you get that to us before the full board?
And so
Yes,
actually the
absolutely.
county's paying 8,000 though.
To my
Even-
understanding,
Okay,
correct.
then I really would like to know what we're getting for that. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is to move forward with the contingency that the questions are answered prior to the commission full board meeting.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is actually July 2nd now.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Correct. Wednesday the 2nd.
The second,
Tuesday the 2nd.
yeah, change, yeah.
Big change to Wednesday.
Wednesday the 2nd, right?
Oh, Wednesday the 2nd, okay.
Yes.
Whatever the 2nd.
Friday is the 4th.
Yeah. okay.
No, no.
It got changed this morning, so we're all messed up.
Okay, next item, Madam Clerk.
Item 10, requesting Commissioner approval of Budget Adjustment 2025-35089, certifying revenue in the general fund.
Any questions? Any questions on this item? Who's here to speak to this item? Who's here to speak to this item?
Yeah, this is Ahmad Nasser, Wayne County Homeland Security Finance Manager.
I would just like to know about it.
Commissioner Marecki?
Yep, I'd just like to know about this expenditure. I mean, we have some information, but you can tell us, it's a pretty big chunk, so.
Yes, it's a $320,000 additional in the funding. And the reason why we're asking it is because when we went to purchase our new command vehicle, we found out it's going to take about 3 to 4 years to manufacture the new vehicle, but they offered us another command vehicle, which scheduled to be delivered to us by the end of fiscal year this year. It's a little bigger and has more features that can serve better our communities. So, but it's more expensive, like $220,000 more. In addition to that, we identified that we could equip that command post with additional radios and computers that can help better serve this community. So we requested additional $100,000 for those, and we ordered radios and computers and networking system. And in order to save us a step, not purchase them later on and install them with a local dealer or a local installer, we had to purchase them right now and have the current manufacturer install them while manufacturing, because they know better the wiring and the harnesses system in there.
So how many, I'm a little bit confused. This is for a new command vehicle?
Correct.
And then all the other stuff. Do we have any other command vehicles?
We have a current command vehicle located at our warehouse right now, and it's an older model that is outdated, but we're still using it because this is our only option.
So what will you do with that command vehicle when we get this new one? Will you still use it, or you take it to auction, or give it to somebody else?
Yeah, it depends actually on the type of event. Still, we're gonna still use it for sure. In case like a light event or somewhere where the newer command vehicle, which is the bigger one, cannot reach, we can use the older model.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay,
You're very
thank
welcome.
you. Any additional questions?
Yes,
Any
Commissioner.
additional questions? Commissioner McCormick, Baker McCormick.
When you alluded to an older vehicle, how old is older?
It's 2004.
Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay. So the total cost of this vehicle is 1.5 million?
Actually, the vehicle itself is 1.4 million. But the equipment which we're gonna need in our department, regardless of the vehicle or not, is just additional 100,000.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any additional questions? Any additional questions? I'll entertain a motion yes. Yes, let's do it. Yes, let's do that. Let's go to the agenda. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Item number 13, requesting commission approval of the county's 2023-2024 deficit elimination plan for the Victim Witness Fund.
That's on the agenda, right? Yes. Mm. Okay, who's here to speak to this?
Greg McIntyre, Deputy Budget Director, Management and Budget.
Yogesh Kisani, Deputy Chief Finance Officer, Management Budget. So what we have, as you know, we finished our county audit on 29th of May, and we ended up with one fund deficit, which is a 282 prosecutor side. And rest of the other funds, we did not require a deficit elimination plan. So this is required by state that we submit deficit elimination plan, and we plan to, transfer from a general fund to fund this deficit.
Okay. Okay, any questions? Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I will make a motion to move.
No.
Oh, we still have- I thought this was going into closed session.
Taking a
That's
motion.
gonna go into closed session.
Sorry. Hold it, excuse me, one moment. Madam Clerk, we have the two other items on the agenda.
Yes, which are the settlement items which you wanted a separate.
Correct,
for.
that's correct. Okay, so as indicated, the two items are what we're going to be going to closed session. A motion is in order, and I'd like the motion to include the fact that for item number 6, that we will pass for the day unless someone comes or join us at this meeting to respond to questions regarding the operation. Okay. Someone come who can respond to questions associated with that item. And then as well as the motion is to include the contingency associated with item number 9. Motion is in order accordingly.
Just one question, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I think everyone sitting here has probably heard about the settlements. Do we need to have a closed session?
No, I'm asking
there's no
anyone, does anyone have any questions associated with, because that's the only way we can answer questions. So any questions
Or going into closed session.
for going into closed session? Okay. Let's see, at this point here, Madam Clerk, yes.
Just to clarify, because I just thought about it, item number 11, we didn't really get any comments from our Director of Finance. I just wanted to know if he had any input in.
Well, at that time, if any questions warranted to be directed.
Right, and
toward-
that's what
because-
I'm trying to
No,
see if there were.
that's an administration issue, and we brought the administration here to speak to this.
I'm not asking for any questions about it. I just wanted to see if he had any input.
We should have raised that point at that time. Yes,
Okay.
at that time, we should have raised that.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we're on a different, okay, at this time,
I will make a motion to move item.
we gotta can you read item 14 and 15 into the record? We won't be going into closed session.
Okay,
Yes.
so we're moving to item number 14, requesting commission approval. I'm sorry, excuse me, item number 14, requesting commission approval of a settlement in the matter of the library P&L fines for Hamtramck Public Library.
So let me just say this. See, so we are going to go into closed session because there is a question that someone would like to ask associated with it. And so,
The motion for.
yes, okay, at this time, would like to ask for a motion to be made to go into closed session for the purpose, no. Say that again.
We need a motion for items
Okay.
1 through 13 with the.
First motion is 1 through 13. Okay, go ahead. It's been moved by Commissioner Baidoon, supported by Commissioner Anderson.
With item number 6 passing for the day.
Unless someone join us,
Yes.
and as well as
And
item.
contingency on number 9.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay,
Okay.
so it's been moved and supported. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Item stands
Who
approved.
was the support for that motion?
Okay, it was moved by Baidoon, supported by Anderson.
you.
Yep. And so the motion passed. Yeah. Okay,
Favor?
okay, yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we will now entertain a motion to go into closed session for the purpose of discussing with our attorney the settlements as listed on item number 14 and 15 respectively.
Motion to move into.
It's been moved by Commissioner Baidoon, supported by moved by Commissioner Scott, supported by Commissioner Baidoon. Roll call. Yes.
Full moon.
Yeah.
It's a full moon and it's.
Okay.
We gotta move into the session then.
We're going into closed session to discuss the attorney-client privilege memorandum, which is an exception for, under FOIA, which allows us to go into closed session under the Open Meetings Act. So that is the basis for the written closed client memo, which we do have on file, is the basis for the closed session.
Thank you for stating that on the record. And at this time, roll call is required.
Commissioner Scott?
Yes.
Commissioner Baker McCormick?
Here.
Commissioner Marecki?
Yes.
Commissioner Clementi?
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson?
Yes.
Vice Chair Baidoon?
Yes.
Chair Kinlock?
Yes,
Motion carries.
we're now in closed session and like the
I'm sorry? Yes, that's what it was. Mhm. No, it's fine. If that was the motion. Okay, that's all. Trying to get the players like changing all the time. Okay. Yes, we are.
The Wayne County Commission, Committee on Ways and Means Committee will now come out of recess. And at this time,
Session. Closed session.
come out of closed session at this time. And at this time, Madam Clerk, is there anyone here? I'd like to ask, is there anyone here who can speak to item number 6? Is there anyone here who can speak to item number 6? Not hearing anyone respond. Item number 6 is passed for the day. Madam Clerk, next item.
We are returning to the agenda, item F, such other matters as may be I'm sorry, I need a motion for 14 and 15.
Okay. It's been moved and supported to approve the recommendation, item 14, 15. Been moved by Commissioner Baydun, supported by Commissioner Scott. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, item stands approved. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Just 1 second, Chair. We have someone by the name of Baker in the chat saying they cannot unmute, but they are looking to speak to item number 6.
Okay, so can they unmute? Let me just ask, I'll ask the members here, do you all have any questions associated with item number 6? It's the Ray Basham Weed Whacker. So it was the intent, so the commission basically voted to include this in the budget for the purpose of purchasing it, and then they would go into intergovernmental agreement, those communities to utilize it and maintain it. But what is in front of us is basically an item to basically purchase it, and purchase it. I'll let Terrence explain the change in this situation.
Through the chair, so the budget adjustment in front of us, I believe there's a agreement that's going to come up, or if it hasn't, it's for us to basically give Gibraltar the funds so they can purchase it and own it, and the county will have nothing else to do with it, no liability. So it won't be owned by the county. It's just funds that are going to be given to Gibraltar so they can go purchase the weed harvester and do whatever they choose to do with.
And
so that's why the money is coming out of the general fund and not the road fund.
And I'm fine with that, because we support various communities from time to time. And this is something that they've been asking us for a while. Yeah.
So this is not the kind of weed that most people think about.
No, you didn't. Okay, Commissioner Mareki.
Thank you. So I think it was in someone's analysis too, that there's 2 other areas that could also use this. So I didn't know if they were going to share this thing. I don't even know what this looked
Right.
like.
Remember, even when
Right.
Basham, yeah.
But, I just had a side question because someone noted that we've helped out other communities on certain things, and it mentioned Livonia Recreation Center, and I'd like to know, this is not now, but where I could find when the county did that.
Who mentioned
And
that?
It's in our analysis.
Oh, okay. You said
And
something.
I'd like to know if someone from our staff can get that, because I do not recall that at all for the rec center in Livonia, that something was just given to them for that. So it's just a side note.
Just a side note.
Yep,
Thank you.
side note, total side note.
Okay, yes. Okay, so Commissioner McCormick.
So, did you have a question on this item?
You might.
Okay, well, no, it's not, because speak to another item, number 6. I just wanted him to speak to number 11.
Item number
That's all.
6 is what we.
I know, but we went back to item number 6 and he responded. All I'm trying to do is get whatever his opinion is on the record. That's all. It's not difficult. I mean, what's the problem?
Okay, go ahead, Terrence. Speak to the item.
Thank you. I just want his opinion. He's our financial director, so.
through the chair, Commissioner McCormick. So with item number 11, from my knowledge, as they stated, it was a error that instead of putting in the appropriate compensation of their raise, they put in their employee ID number, which triggered the check. Checks and balances were not taken because I believe there's other employees that sign off going up the chain. Who those employees are, I'm not for sure. What administration's checks and balances are in total for the payroll, but luckily the employee said something who received the funds and notified the appropriate people, and hopefully going forward that action won't happen again.
And do you believe that the $665 is going to be returned to us, or have we discussed that at all?
What 600?
It's the additional amount that was not paid back.
$65?
$665.
Right, so I'm saying they were here, that's why I had them here, he can't.
No, I didn't know if he knows. I just said
Yeah.
if he knows if it will be returned to us. That's
I do not.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I thought they said that they were gonna do it through, they did say that they're gonna do it through payroll deduction, right? They said,
Okay,
yes.
thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay,
Not
thank
to
you.
not to prolong this anymore. I just do have a question about number 6. So a weed harvester is a bigger thing than a weed whacker or whatever you
Yeah,
want to call
absolutely,
it.
right, right. We're
Okay,
just
so this
joking.
is for something in Gibraltar that former commissioner really was, and it's something that will help them with their canals and get rid of invasive species or something. Is that what a weed harvester is? And
Yes.
for $161,000, I think it's something that they must really need.
Yes, yes. Yeah, they've been talking about it at least how many times we've been on the, since I've been on the commission, every year it kept coming up. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I would like to ask for a motion Madam Clerk. Okay, I would like to a motion to approve this request. I'm fine with the information that we've just discussed. Yeah, moving forward. A motion is in order. It's been moved by Commissioner Anderson, supported by Commissioner Baydoun. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Yes, the weed whacker's over. I know, that's my little, listen, that's.
Oh, it's theirs. They gotta take care of it.
Yeah, right. Okay, next item, Madam Clerk.
Item F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
I know of none. Next item.
Item G, public comments.
At this time, Madam Clerk, can you unmute everyone on Zoom and those individuals who are joining us by phone? If you would like to address this committee, please raise your hand or indicate in chat that you would like to bring comments to this committee.
There are no hands on Zoom, Chair, and no emails were received.
Okay, I'd like to ask, is there anyone present who would like to address this committee? Public comment is closed, Madam Clerk. Next item.
Item H, adjournment.
Motion is in order. Moved by Commissioner Baydoun, supported by Commissioner Anderson.